Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. I found out my sleeving, so I'll put the sleeving on. I will have to adjust it because I need the yellows to come out where the rectifier is. So at the moment I've just put a long bit on. This will be cut back. So all you do is put it through the hole at the top, all your cables, feed it up. And what you're looking for is not to trap any of these cables against the actual fan casing. So I'm going to need a 10mm on there. So if I get 10 out, 10 extension. And we'll put the stator plate. Bear in mind that I've already marked where it was on the last engine, so unlike you, I'm going to have an easier time. I'll undo them. 3 nuts that hold it in. There is a clamp that goes on. I will be putting that on. I'm just putting the stator plate in at the moment to show you. Number 2 and number 3. Oh, good job I caught that. I don't want to damage it. Hope you didn't knock the camera too far that you can't see what I'm doing. So these are the 3 securing holes that hold the stator plate in. I've got a little bit of gasket sealer on the ends of them. Nothing to worry about. So I shall put the cable back through here and across the top. And bear in mind what I said about this. Make sure all the cables are nice and flat. Turn it around. And there we go. We can put our bolts in one by one. Just get them started. You don't have to go too mad with this. That's it, that's in. Get the top one in. And the last one. If you remember, I've already marked my stator plate. Looking for the screwdriver bit just to screw them up a bit. All I'm going to do is get these so they're just touching the stator plate. That's spot on there. You see I marked all the nuts, all the bolts, sorry I should say. Hopefully you can see that. You still have to check it, you know, even if you're cocksure like I am. There's plenty of people with egg on their faces that have done this before. Always check. And we'll do this tight. 1, 2. Don't go too mad. This should not turn, which it's not doing. And also as well, if the bolts ain't in deep enough, when you put this flywheel on, they will rub. A main problem with the stator plate, or should I say the old stator plate that came with the original AF electronic with the with the light and flywheel was that it would catch the top of this, so you had to take the K2 down, the sensor down, so it'd sit further in. I myself have come a crop with that one where it's run fine, and it's taken the bloody K2 apart, you know, as it's been running. It could take weeks, but you need to make sure that, you know, you've got a gap, and bear in mind that this does expand when it's warm. So if you're putting the AF one on, my recommendation to you is watch the top of this and make sure that you've got, you know, you can get your feeler gauge in there. I don't know what sort of gap would be acceptable. That's up to you. Or if you've got an AF kit and they've given you the correct, actually I'll need to do these back the opposite way, because I've just realised we're just sticking them in. I've put the lock washer in the wrong place. It should be, or have I? No, I haven't, sorry. So it's flat washer towards what you're bolting up, and the lock washer between that and the face of the bolt. And just take your time. That one does seem loose on the top. That's it. You do know when it feels tight. It's like that one, it puts up a lot of resistance. That's tight. That one wasn't tight at the top, but I'm quite happy with the, if you can see it where the bolts line up, that's pretty good, and my K2 is in line with that, what I marked earlier on. So my trigger point should be right. If I just put the flywheel on, no I don't, I won't do that. I'll get out the clamp that holds the cable back, and then I'll put the flywheel on, because I'd only have to take the flywheel off anyway. So I'll cut away for that, and cut in again when I've got the little flat clamp. Right, so we've got our bracket. That goes on there and holds the cable away from the flywheel as it spins. So all we've got to do is just loosen that nut off. Like so. And we don't need the flat washer no more. I'll get my hand in there to get it off. Because that bracket will replace the flat washer. So it goes over like so, and our lock washer, then our nut. And what I suggest you do is just be careful with this bracket. You don't want to, you want it to clamp the sheath, not the inner cable. So what I suggest you do is just get a screwdriver or your finger like I'm doing, and just bring it away from the stator plate, so it's got, the cables have got a chance to actually bed in. And then just tighten up this one, and Bob's your auntie, the flywheel can go on. While I cut away, I took the advantage, or the gap in time, just to get myself a new nut and washer, locking washer for the flywheel. So we're just going to tighten them up. See, that's there. We can, what we can do as well, you see that, and just knock it with a screwdriver or whatever, flat bit. I've got a punch somewhere down there, just to make sure that it's away from the stator plate, you know, the flywheel going around. We'll just knock it flat a bit. I don't know what it is, that one seems to be a bit weak. New versions, not like original, but as you can see, that's flat away from there now. That flywheel can go on, and we can tighten that down. So this flywheel can go on now. So we're looking for the keyway, which is there. Keyway's there. It should just literally push on, which is not doing at the moment because I'm not directly in line. Bloody magnets are strong, aren't they? There you go. So you can see that's gone on. Our new wavy washer. Again, try not to use a second-hand one of them. And bear in mind it's a left-hand thread. So just undo it to tighten it, and tighten it to undo it, which is what I forgot earlier on when I was waffling on, when I was trying to get the nut off that I'd left on the crankshaft. But hey ho, these things happen. So I'm just going to finger tight that at the moment because we need a flywheel holder. So I'm just doing that finger tight, rotate it a few times. I can't hear any squeaking or any noises as such. Make sure they're all apart as well. All your cables are apart. I mean, it's rotating lovely as compression again. That's really nice. I'm very happy with that. There's no noise. No noise whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is get hold of the holder, tighten that up, and I'll cut back in again. Right, so I do mine up to £50. There you go. Take that tool away, and that's our flywheel in place. I'll just put the tool there again. I have to put these tools away in a minute. Spin around again. So that's our flywheel on, and just what I suggest you do is just turn it a few times the correct way. I can't hear any noise from that. That's pretty good. So I'm quite happy with that. So what we've got now is we've got our dust guard, which I will give a wipe to. Don't lock these off with the screwdriver method like we used to do in the 80s. And there's my torque wrench. I've actually bought a new one, but I'm so used to the old beast that I've had since I was a kid. I'm still using it, so I'm just giving that a wipe out because it has been upside down. I'm a bit sort of over the top with cleaning, but we don't want any metal in there. No bits and bobs or anything like that. I'm just checking the camera so I'm not waffling onto myself, but let's put it in there, and then you just turn it slightly, and then you get your spring, which I've got down here. And again, I'm giving that a wipe. And you look out for a cutout. You put one end in the cutout and roll it in a circle like I'm doing there, and let go, and it's in. What you can do is just get a screwdriver and make sure it's in. Push it like I'm doing. I'm quite happy with that anyway. I know, and this came off of it, so. And then we've got our top and bottom and our rubber for our cable, which I'm not doing today, but that's the stator plate, flywheel on. I've got the brakes to put on. I'm just trying to think what other jobs I've got to do with this engine yet. Just put the exhaust on. I'm going to paint these before I do the next video, and obviously that needs to go up to the back. That's why it's long, but I need to come out about there. If you can see that, I need to come out about there. I keep forgetting the camera's really close up, because if you think of the frame, the regulator's about there. So these yellows, the two yellows, need to go to the regulator. When I come to connect it up, I'll go through all of, you know, the benefits of having full wave rectification. It's basically, it takes, you know, the Stone Age Lambretta and puts it right in 21st century to me. It's you know, it's something that I don't think's even you know, something to be guessed at. It should be just a given that you're gonna want decent lights in our world that we live in at the moment, because like I say, the average car driver never sees you anyway. But like I say, the little terminals that I got with that, I'm going to put in to my terminal box and clear that up, which is, sorry, you're still looking up there. So I'm going to put them in there along with the terminals I got with that original stator plate that's on the GP engine, actually, that I'll be taking parts off and putting the Series 2 150 back together and keeping it as a spare. So I'm just keeping all these bits and bobs, they always come in handy. And that's the one that was stuck on, if you remember. I couldn't get it off because I had to heat it, because I foolishly basically went the wrong way with the torque drill. I don't know what you call it, you know. It's brilliant, but it can also be a downside when you over tighten stuff. But, as I was trying to explain in the last video about that, I've got 2 plus 12 volts coming into my regulator, and I'll show you all of that where I hid it. You know, to the untrained eye it just looks like a standard regulator, you know, in a Centi Ducati one. So you know, it is what it is. It looks hidden, but then you see obviously the boxes, power and what have you for the CDI unit. Although this is a short video, that bolt's not going to be used again, so I'll just put it there. It's going in the bin. That nut, I should say, flywheel nut. That's 50. I think some people say about 55, but I've never found a problem if you just do it to 50 pounds per square inch, that is. I'm still old school money, old money. I don't find anything wrong with, you know, pounds per square inch. I could actually take this off now, off the rear hub, but I'm going to be painting the rear hub as well, because it's no good. This all looks nice and shiny and the rear hub looks dull. They have gone off over time to this. They've lost their luster, haven't they, with the heat. But like I say, that'll be coming off. On a note with the Scootopia, I don't know if I've done this on a previous video or not, because I've got some videos to edit yet, but inside here they had a sleeve which accommodated the 150. I didn't realise that, so I had a hell of a time getting it onto the inlet. All I needed to do was remove the sleeve, but I bought this second hand with no instructions. Like I say, I've never had one of their carbs before, and it was on the 150 with that sleeve in, because the if I grab it, that inlet, if you can see, the 150 inlet's a lot smaller. Although it's got the same carb on it, 22mm carb, the actual gas flow in there is a lot smaller. And again, if you get the 30mm solid mount that we used to use in the 80s, that's bigger than that. It's another 8mm bigger. So you know, you've got a copy of a Ducati, and it seems to be quite a good carb, to be honest, when I've been running it on the Series 2 in the past. We'll see what it's like running on the 200 engine. As I say, I was looking to put a kit on it, but there's no kits really that you can run a standard carb, because I want to keep the air box. People say you can put the air, use the air box and what have you, but I always think if you've got an RT or whatever, it needs to breathe, or you're wasting your time buying a kit. So we'll see how this goes. I can always fit a kit in the future, no problem at all. But I'm going to leave that second video that I've done today there. I'll stick that back on for the time being, so you've got an idea where everything lines up. I might even try and get myself some petrol pipe. This it looks like it's just crimped in there a little bit. I don't know, that could be the difference, I suppose, when you're flat out of slowing you down. They do pipe with coil in it, and I'm going to invest in some of that, I think, and use it. I've never used it before, but with and I don't use I use Super Plus all the time. I don't use E5 in any of my scooters, but it could rot this plastic PVC and make it shrink and cause you all sort of problems. So it's something that I won't be using on my bike, so maybe that's okay to use. You know, this was on the Series 2. It's still flexible, you know what I mean. It's not had it or anything. It doesn't leak. It's just that I will be buying some petrol pipe to suit my needs that I want in the future. So I want, eh? But as I say, thanks again everybody for watching. Hope you're getting something out of this anyway. Like I say, timing it can be as hard or as easy as you want. Bear in mind that where the arrow is, which if I spin that around again, that's coming up to top center, so that's my firing point about there. So when I put the strobe light on, that will line up there, hopefully, if I've got it right. If not, then it's flywheel off, move the flywheel, the stator plate I should say, either way, depending on that, if it's before or after that firing point. If it's in that way, then obviously it's too far forward, you need to move it back. It basically moves the way that you want it to fire. So if you turn it, as I explained in a previous video, turn it clockwise, it will move it forward. If you turn it anti-clockwise, it will bring it back. And you want to keep away from top dead. The other thing I was going to say before going, if I can find it again, is it in that bag? Yeah. When you're doing to find your top dead center, invest in one of these piston stops. They come in all shapes and sizes. You basically put that instead of a spark plug. Turn your your flywheel around till it hits that. It will hit that, stop, and go the other way and stop, and you'll have two marks. Measure between them. Halfway point between them will give you your top dead center. That's the easiest way to find where the top dead center is anyway. But Lambrettas, I do find they're pretty good. You know, the mark on the mag flange is pretty good. You know, they are pretty good. I'm just looking at this. You know, this is a Scooters India one, and it's bigger, isn't it? Because this is what Uni did. Made these holes bigger here. Made them, you know, I don't know if it's bigger on a Uni than that, but yeah, it's just interesting. I've not noticed that before. I've not had a problem with any of the threads anyway, but I suppose that's from using Innocenti stator flywheel cowling, I should say. But yeah, okay, take care everybody. I'm going to call that a day for today. Go in and get some tea. Look after each other, take care, and like I said before, if there's any questions, don't hesitate, you know, get on your keyboard and ask me, and hopefully I can help. Take care now. Bye for now. Bye.